Wondering what life is really like on Canada's wild and crazy West Coast? This podcast is all about the people, the places, and Vancouver Island time. Together, we'll explore this island paradise, a combination of ocean, city, and country living. We'll meet the fabulous locals such as the Fudge Fairy and the Chicken Lady, who have chosen Victoria and Vancouver Island as their home. And we'll learn what makes this place unique and special to those who live here. And now, your host of Vancouver Island Time, Jane Johnston.
Hi everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm here with Teresa Scholes. She's with Click Virtual Assistants, and today we're going to be talking about the Gorge area, specifically around the Gorge Waterway and the Glow Restaurant. So, a place near and dear to my heart. So, tell me about this area. How'd you end up here?
I ended up actually in Victoria from Ontario back in '89 after meeting my husband at university, and he said I wanted to move west, and I said I've never been west of Ontario. Let's do it. So we ended up actually in Sydney first, and then started commuting downtown for work, and realized that it'd be nicer it's time to start looking to buy a home. So we started actually looking in Langford, in this area, because it was based on pricing, really. We looked out in Langford and we knew that there would be a commute from Langford, so we actually started looking further in town here and discovered a house in this area and realized that it was extremely convenient, easy to get down to town to work, and has a lot of amenities around. And kids, we also had the first child on the way. So it was a matter of what schools are in the area, is there rowing, is there soccer, is there baseball in the area, which encouraged our decision to pick the house that we're in and still in as of today.
What year was that?
That was 1995.
So, wow.
Yeah.
The prices have really gone up since.
Yes, absolutely. I think it was, back then I thought, 220,000. Oh my word, how are we going to do that, and now what a change. Yeah.
So you've always lived in this area. How has it been for your kids?
I think it's been great. They all joined Gorge Soccer Association. They all played soccer there. My husband was a coach there. They were in Hampton Little League, which is close to there as well, right beside each other. They went to local schools in the area, not too far away. I tried to encourage them to bike themselves, but it didn't always work out that way. But I could bike them to school sometimes when they were small. So it's been great for them. It's been convenient. They're now off to university, so they can hop a bus to go to UVic or to Camosun right from here as well, or drive if they want to. So, and convenient for their work as well. One works right downtown here. She walked on the Gorge here from work yesterday, and the other one can hop the bus too to get downtown to work. So, yeah, it's been great for them.
So thinking from the perspective of somebody moving from out of town, what do you do for entertainment in this area?
Well, this is one of the nicest patios. The restaurant we're in front right now called Glow, which has this beautiful view behind. It's a great place to come. There's also a beautiful little bakery cafe along the waterway there called Foyepi, which is a great place for coffee. So you can hop on the Galloping Goose biking trail here, go all the way downtown, which I do a fair amount, and stop along the way, come here for dinner. There's a movie theater at Tilka Mall. So there's lots of opportunities. Mayfair Mall is very close uptown. So we've got 3 malls that are very close to us, and things like, I say, restaurants, movie theaters, and downtown.
People don't talk a lot about Tillicum Mall, but actually it's gentrified a lot. Like, it went to be from scuzzy to kind of nice, don't you think?
It did. And I remember 25, years since I've been here, it was a little scuzzy. It's been updated, and the movie theater is great behind. You've got Perks Rec Center there, which is I was a member for years until I just moved to Steve Nash at Uptown. It's got great there's some great little restaurants in there too. A Vietnamese restaurant, a Japanese restaurant. London Drugs is super for my local shopping there.
They have Save On Foods now?
Save On Foods there, that's right. So we've got a number in lifestyles markets over this way if you're looking for a grocery store. So very convenient and close in this area too. So I found the amenities were just really, I didn't have to travel far to get anything I needed.
Perks also is great for if you want to host events or going to events, like they have the baby fair every year. They have a home show. They have all sorts of stuff like that. And then if you're into playing shinny or anything, they have a shinny league there. They have different things that you can hop into. And they also, I used to take my kids there for daycare.
Yes, they have a lot of children's events as well. Even I took my kids there too for little group drop-in events as well. Lots of paid and free events too. And there's usually a women's 1 or 2 day event at Perks every year too. A women's conference, which is
right
awesome too.
Like health.
Yeah, health and wellness event as well. Yeah, there's a couple of them.
So, so you mentioned Glow Restaurant. Where else would you go for dinner around here?
I like Il Greco, which is on the corner of over by Toluca Mall or over near the Gorge walkway area. It's been around for a long time, so that's a good place to go. This one, there is also new restaurants opening up at Uptown Mall, Brown Social House. Good place to go too.
It is very good, actually. It's a chain, but it's still good, I find.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to not go to chains, but that's a good one.
What do you think about the development at Uptown Mall?
I liked Uptown. I remember when it was the basic bowling. It was a bowling alley there and a little Walmart and a little grocery store in there. And it's been a lot of development, but they've done it in a nice way. So now that I'm part of the gym there, I actually like going there. Whole Foods is now in there, which is right next door. Another good place for groceries and organics. And they've got convenient, nice little shops too. My kids like to shop at Plenty there and a couple of the other shops there. And if you're looking for banks, lots of banks there to do your banking as well.
And they have more, a friend of mine does her mortgage company there, and also there's the Best Buy, right?
Best Buy there for your electronics, absolutely, yeah.
What I found about that mall was when it was being developed, we were in the middle of a recession. So now we're 10 years later. It's complete. They're adding on a bit, so they're adding in condos and stuff. It's quite high density, but it's a good combination. They have daycare in there and stuff. It's a good combination of business and pleasure.
It is, and you can see the daycare. They actually have the little the kids have an outdoor play area on the roof of the building, which is really neat to see them out there covered too, so they can be out in the rain as well. So yeah, there's insurance companies there. There's car insurance if you need to get that there. There's a lot of amenities there. They have a ton of parking underneath, and mostly people tend to go to where Walmart is, but if you go further up, there's some other great stores in there and a lot of parking.
So we're in the outdoors here. We're underneath a willow tree right beside the gorge, which is a waterway. It's tidal. I'm just wondering, what about natural stuff? What outdoor stuff do you do?
I was just thinking about the little ferries that come along here in the summertime too. It's great because you can hop on them from here or go down the gorge and hop on them and go right downtown. It's a nice little jaunt to do if you want. Nature, I love biking on the Scalp and Goose Trail, so I tend to I like that it's 2 minutes from my door and I can hop on and go, and I can either bike right out to Thetis Lake and walk around there, or I tend to go down to the Gorge walkway that runs along the water, not far from here. You can go there. Across the water here, there's Banfield Park. There's for young families, there is 5 or 6 parks right in the midst of this area on this side and on this side of the water. So those are great. I used to go there a lot with my kids. Now it's more of biking and walking along the path here. Running, it's good for running. Trails along here as well, because you can bike or run on these trails.
They also have Canada Day celebrations, right?
They do. They block off part of Gorge Road on July 1st for the Canada Day picnic. It's great because they bring out hockey nets and hockey, and they have little hockey games on the street, and they have music. And my there's a little health store in the corner there called Health Essentials, which offers free samples on that day, and you could just walk along the water there on the road without cars, see a bunch of old cars that they park there as well. It's a nice event that lots of families come out for.
Yeah, I've always gone to the downtown one.
You should try it. It's been going on for years, and it's kind of neat just to see the hockey games going on. And there's usually some artists along the way as well, and music, and good entertainment.
Cool. So actually we row right here, and when we row up to Tillicum, sometimes the tide is coming out, so we can't actually get up that far, but on the occasion we're able to get up. It's quite nice. You can go all the way from down here to Portage Inlet. You can rent kayaks and canoes out here as well, and a lot of people paddleboard. They bring their paddleboards down, which they do so in late afternoon, so when we're rowing it can be a bit of an issue.
I've seen them before out here. Yeah, it's becoming more popular, so yes.
And also it's right here where we are is a Fairway Gorge, so that's for people who want to do, there's outrigger and then there's dragon boating.
Yes, dragon boating, yes.
So Fairways is owned by an Asian family and Chinese family, and that's why they support the dragon boating. So that's big, and so if you're interested, they actually accept people of all ages, so I see them warming up here.
Yes, absolutely. I know a couple of women that are part of the dragon boating and love it. Yeah, great community.
I think it is a great community too. And then here that we're seeing right behind us, we have like little kids at camp, and there's the Montessori school here as well.
That's right. Selkirk Montessori, just up the road from here. Yes.
So it's, I think what was initially probably not a nice area, maybe 20 years ago, has turned into a very nice area. Don't you agree?
I agree. I remember when they developed this area too, and it was an original sawmill, I believe. I remember the old sawmill here, and it was, so you've got a little bit of industrial still in this area, but they're reclaiming some of that and building beautiful places like this. You've got government buildings here, but mixed in with residential.
So have you been to Wheelie's Cafe?
We were just talking about Wheelie's yesterday. No, I have not. I've heard it's a cute little place.
So it's a bike shop where they serve food.
Motorbike shop. Yes.
So when you go in there, it's an interesting clientele, but they make an awesome macaroni and cheese.
Do they? Good to know, because I've walked by it, I've looked in, and I thought, I should give it a try.
It's a fun place to go. You should try it. We've gone there. They have cider and beer and stuff like that, and people just hang out. Yeah, it's not rough and tumble or anything. I mean, it looks at when you go in. I expect Keanu Reeves to walk out of the bathroom anytime, because it would be his type of place.
And down from the road there, you've got Hoyne Brewery, which is another benefit of this area, is that you've got a lot of local brewers there. Hoyne just happens to be my neighbor, so down the road is there. You can pop in there for a growler, and then go next door to Parachute Ice Cream for awesome local ice cream, and keep going around the corner and finding more brew pubs.
Yeah, I think there's Over the Moon or Under the Moon.
Yes, Under the Moon.
Right.
Yes.
So you've had a great introduction, I think, to this area. There's tons to do, tons of ways to live your life here, no matter what age you are. So if you're interested in knowing more about this area, please give me a call. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, and we'd love it if you want to be a guest in our show. You just go to our website, VancouverIslandTime.com, and at the bottom, click on Be a Guest. And we're going to come back and talk to our friend here about her work, which is?
I'm a freelance virtual assistant.
So stay tuned. And watch us at VancouverIslandTime.com. We're also on Vancouver Island Time on Facebook. We're on TuneIn, iTunes, and Stitcher. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Vancouver Island Time is brought to you by the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun, Victoria, where we bring local expertise and global presence to your property.
Hi, everybody. It's Jane Johnson with the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun and host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm sitting on the shores of the Gorge with my friend here, Teresa Scholes, and she owns a business called Click Virtual Assistants, and her website is clickva.com. So a virtual assistant is kind of a new thing. Sometimes they're called PAs, sometimes they're called VAs. How long have you been doing that? How'd you get into that business?
I've been doing it since 2007. I got into it more for balance of life. I had 3 young kids under the age of, 3 young kids. I think the third one was born in 2000. And at that time, I was sort of working for the government, but also then started to work part-time for the government, which was great. But then when the third one came along, it was like, I had a wonderful nanny, but I was watching the budget going, okay, maybe there's a better solution. And luckily, one of those government bosses offered me a freelance job from home when she had moved on to work for another organization. And I discovered I could work from home as a contractor and replace my income as part-time in the government. So then I realized that there was a world called being a virtual assistant, and started to investigate it, and sort of launched around 2000 in the end, summer of 2007.
So who's your ideal client for that sort of thing?
It's changed over time because I've learned a lot of technology over time and the internet has changed so much because we tend to support business owners, solopreneurs, coaches, authors, speakers, but also anybody who's in business with I work on the tech part of that. So ideal client is someone who I love working lately with healthcare, like the health and wellness industry has become really popular. So that has been a real need for VAs to help those women who are launching those business, or men. So the ideal client is somebody but I also love working with mainly coaches, business owners, ones that really want to change things up or may be open to launching a course on their site, or may want help in the back end to launch some products to sell online, or try out new ideas for a membership site.
You know what? You would be a good candidate for eWomen Network because a lot of people there do that sort of thing in general, like in the whole network. So, but one of the issues I find with people, because as a former managing director, I used to hold strategic business introductions, and we talk about challenges people have. So one of the biggest challenges people have, well, I find there are 2. One is creating the systems, and the second is giving up control. Do you find that?
Creating the systems, definitely, because if you're launching a business, you don't want to have to learn all that stuff. You want to focus on your real estate business or your coaching business or your dog training business that I have a client for. You want to do what you do and what you like to do, but you don't want to figure out how to make the membership thing work or connect PayPal to your MailChimp account. So there's definitely a need for that. And in that respect, it's like if you can focus on what you do best, then the VA can put the kind of stuff in place and the behind the scenes to make it all work.
Do you ever give people advice on systems? Like, do you help them create the system?
Absolutely. I remember talking to one client in Victoria who's a graphic facilitator. She had said, I would like to set up a membership site component for my courses. And I said, well, you might want to look at this. And she said, well, I kind of tried that before. And you haven't seen this in play, and just showing her some videos of how it works, and we launched it, and it's been fabulous for her because she can create new courses and programs, put them in there, and have people come from all around the world and self-study through her courses online without her having to actually be in person or on a video conferencing.
I wonder if I know her.
You might.
How many different clientele do you have?
Different types of clientele?
No, different. How many clients do you work with? Like, how many can a VA handle?
It depends, because some clients will come just looking for a one-time off thing. Like, can you help me launch a course? So once it's launched, they might move on. Other ones I've been working with for years, and that might be helping them revamp their courses or work with whatever systems they're using for e-commerce, setting up new pages so they can sell new products. So it depends. And some VAs may only want to work with 2 or 3 at a time. Some of them actually have teams, VAs. So you might have one gal who has so many clients that they bring on VAs as subcontractors. So they have many clients at one time, but we all are in there with different specialities, working on different part of what that client needs. So it's sort of it kind of just depends on what the VA does, because some can do bookkeeping, some can do techie work, and how much they want to take on, because you can get very busy and have too much on the go.
Right. I'm just wondering for people who want it as a career. I have a friend who just started as a VA, and she specializes in real estate, and I find realtors in particular have trouble letting go. So it's interesting to see she's picking up some clients, so that's good. Where do people who want to be a VA, what industries do they usually come from? Do you find, like, have they been legal assistants, or like, so if somebody wants to mentor under you, where would they normally come from? What industry?
They've been from all over. I'm actually in a VA group that is under another organization that actually helps put courses online to train VAs how to be VAs. So we have women from all around the world. And I must say, we do have some men too, but it is mostly women. A lot of them have come from corporate. Some have come from, some have been supported, real estate support as well. Some have just been working home moms or never had a business before. So all over, they've come from all different gamuts. So it's hard to actually say one particular, but I was from government. There are some that have just been laid off maybe from a job. Some have worked for the family business and are moving on and want to try their own. So it's varied all over the board.
Do you find, so VAs, you have to be self-directed, or are you just always responding?
We definitely try to train. It is a business, so if you can find the boundaries for work life and set your times where you can work on some client work, then email. And then you have to almost train the clients that, okay, I don't work on the weekends, so I probably won't be answering your emails on the weekend, but I'll be back in touch on Monday. So you definitely have to set boundaries.
I found, I think a VA actually is a good stepping stone to eventually hiring somebody full-time, because it's about partially giving up control. And there's the saying, Sandra Yancey says, do only the things that only you can do. So you should be farming out the rest of that stuff. I totally agree with that. Do you find people, like, if I look at my cost per hour and I think, well, I could pay somebody, if I'm making $250 an hour, I could pay somebody $25 an hour. Why am I doing that $25 an hour job, right?
Absolutely. And what I find, if people have never used a VA before, but they don't understand what maybe they would offset to a VA, I always say, take a pen and paper down beside you during your day, and you're working on your business, write down all the stuff you don't like doing. You don't want to have to learn how to set up PayPal and connect it to your product, or you don't want to set up that autoresponder automated email. So just make a list, and that'll give you ideas on what you can actually then, if you're not doing those things, what you could be doing more for your business.
And also when you start doing things that you realize you're doing over and over again, make a checklist so that when you can hire somebody, you could just automate it.
That's right. Yes, make a checklist so you know what you're going to offset, and be happy with doing that, and be amazed that it'll come back that some things automatically get done that you didn't have to do, which may help move your business forward even more.
The biggest thing I found having an assistant, so I had a part-time assistant for years, but the biggest thing I found was all of a sudden I was doing more volume and I was working less. And I was like, how could this be possible? But do you find people have that response?
Yes, and that's great because, it kind of warms our heart to go, I'm making a difference in that person's business, because suddenly they're off at the cottage and they might have residual income coming in from a course that I might have set up for them. And it's just, it just makes me feel good knowing that I helped that person move their business forward and help them maybe make more money so they can have more time to do other things.
Okay, so how do people get in touch with you?
My website is actually clickva.com. That's kind of like a click of a mouse. VA. Yeah, so it's CLICKVA.com. And
can they call you?
Sure. Can call me at cell number is 778-350-0030. Or email me at teresa@clickva.com.
How do you spell Teresa?
It's like there with a sa at the end. THERESA.
So if you're interested in leveraging your business and taking your business, I guess, to the next level and having somebody support you, contact Teresa. She'd love to hear from you. She already gave you her contact information. If you want more information about the Gorge area, contact me. My name's Jane Johnston. I'm with the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun, and I'm host of Vancouver Island Time. And again, if you want to be a guest, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us your story. Go to VancouverIslandTime.com, click on Be a Guest, and you will be contacted. There's a little form you need to fill out first, which my assistant helps me with. Okay, so take care and welcome to the neighborhood of the Gorge. Bye.
Welcome to the neighborhood. We hope you have had some insight into West Coast living. If you know of someone or someplace that should be highlighted in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Please go to VancouverIslandTime.com and click on our Connect button. See you next week on Vancouver Island Time with Jane Johnston.